Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner and one of the most successful investors in American history, said something that most people hear and immediately dismiss. He said the first $100,000 is the hardest, not the first million, not the first $500,000, the first $100,000. And he was right. But he never fully explained why it is the hardest. He never ran the math in a way that makes the reason completely undeniable. Today, we are going to do exactly that. My name is James, and by the end of this video, you are going to understand something about compound interest that changes how you feel about every dollar you currently have saved, including why $100,000 is not just a milestone. It is the moment the entire game changes. Let us start with what the math actually looks like. Meet Daniel. Daniel is 27 years old. He earns $62,000 per year. He saves $800 per month. He invests it into a diversified index fund averaging 7% annual return. Here's how long each $100,000 milestone takes him. First $100,000, 9 years and 2 months. Read that again. 9 years and 2 months to save his first $100,000. That's a decade of discipline, a decade of saying no, a decade of watching the number barely move for the first 3 or 4 years, a decade of wondering if this is even working. Now here's the second $100,000. Not another 9 years, 4 years and 8 months. The same amount of money, $100,000, accumulated in almost half the time. Same monthly contributions, same investment strategy, same person, but the math working at a completely different speed. Third $100,000, 3 years and 1 month. Fourth $100,000, 2 years and 4 months. Fifth $100,000, 1 year and 10 months. By the time Daniel has $400,000 saved and is working toward $500,000, he's adding $100,000 to his net worth every 22 months. The same amount that took him over 9 years the first time now takes less than 2 years. This is not motivation. This is not inspiration. This is mathematics. So, why does the first $100,000 feel so impossibly slow? 3 reasons. Reason 1. The math is genuinely working against you at the beginning. When you have $5,000 saved and earning 7%, you make $350 in a year. That $350 is real money, but it does not feel like progress. It feels like background noise. When you have $50,000 saved, you make $3,500 per year. Better, but still not enough to change how the number looks month to month. It's only when you cross $100,000 that something genuinely different starts happening. $100,000 at 7% generates $7,000 per year. That's $583 a month appearing in your account automatically. Now your investments are generating almost as much as your monthly contributions. The engine is running, and you can feel it for the first time. Reason 2, the sacrifice feels bigger than the progress. In the early years of building toward $100,000, the things you were saying no to are very visible. The vacation you didn't take, the car upgrade you didn't make, the dinner out you cooked at home instead. These sacrifices are concrete and immediate. The compound interest growth is abstract and distant. Research from behavioral economics shows that humans systematically overweight immediate losses and underweight future gains. This is called loss aversion, and it's specifically designed by evolution to make the early stages of wealth building feel disproportionately hard. You're not weak for finding the first $100,000 difficult. Your brain is working exactly as it was designed to do. The discipline required to push through that is not easy, but it is finite. Reason 3, the comparison problem. While you're grinding towards your first $100,000, the people around you are not grinding. They're buying the new car. They're taking the vacation. They're upgrading the apartment. And because you see their spending and not their savings rate, because you see their lifestyle and not their net worth, it looks like they're winning and you're losing. They're not winning. Research from the Federal Reserve shows that the median net worth of Americans aged 25 to 34 is approximately $39,000. The median, the exact middle, is $39,000. If you're grinding toward $100,000 and feeling behind, you're not behind. You're running a race most people around you are not even entered. Now let's talk about what actually changes when you cross $100,000, because it's not just mathematical. Change 1, your investment returns start competing with your contributions. At $100,000 invested at 7%, you generate $7,000 per year without touching the principal. If you're contributing $800 a month, that's $9,600 a year. Your investments are now generating 73% as much as your active contributions. By $150,000, they're equal. By $200,000, your money is contributing more than you are. The moment your investment returns exceed your monthly contributions is one of the most important financial moments of your life. Most people never experience it because they never build a large enough base to make it happen. Change 2, your relationship with risk changes permanently. When you have $8,000 saved and the market drops 20%, you lose $1,600. That feels devastating. That's a month of contributions gone. When you have $100,000 saved and the market drops 20%, you lose $20,000 on paper. But something counterintuitive happens. Most people with $100,000 invested have been through enough market cycles to understand that the drop is temporary. They've seen the recovery happen. They've seen their account bounce back. They buy more during the dip instead of panic selling. And that behavioral shift from panic to patience is worth more than any single investment decision you'll ever make. Change 3, opportunities appear that were invisible before. When you have $100,000, doors open. Not metaphorical doors, actual financial doors. You meet the accredited investor threshold for certain private investments. You qualify for premium brokerage services with lower fees and better research. You have enough capital to make a meaningful down payment on a rental property. You have enough buffer to start a small business without putting your basic survival at risk. The financial world was not designed for people with $8,000 in savings. It was designed for people with $100,000 or more. Crossing that threshold is not just a number. It's the admission ticket to a different level of the game. Now let's talk about the most important question. How do you get there faster? Because the math makes one thing clear. Every month you shave off the journey to $100,000 is worth significantly more than a month shaved off any subsequent milestone. The first $100,000 is where the real compounding begins. Getting there a year earlier means an entire additional year of accelerated compound growth on everything that follows. Strategy 1, treat $100,000 as a sprint, not a marathon. Most wealth-building advice treats everything as a long, slow, consistent journey. That's good advice after $100,000. Before $100,000, aggressive temporary sacrifice pays off disproportionately. Taking a second job for 2 years, moving to a cheaper city temporarily, cutting housing costs aggressively for 18 months. These temporary discomforts create a permanent acceleration in compound interest that pays dividends for decades.
Strategy 2. Income is the primary lever before $100,000. After $100,000, compound interest starts doing heavy lifting. Before $100,000, your income and savings rate are the only real levers available. A $10,000 raise invested completely for 3 years on the way to $100,000 does not just add $30,000 to your total. It moves the compound interest clock forward by 14 months. Those 14 months are worth more at the end of 30 years than almost any other financial decision you will make. Negotiate every raise. Pursue every promotion. Build every skill that creates income leverage. Before $100,000, income optimization is wealth building. Strategy 3. Automate everything and stop watching. The behavioral research is clear. People who check their investment accounts frequently make worse decisions than people who check them infrequently. The first $100,000 grind requires a specific kind of deliberate blindness. Set up automatic contributions. Set up automatic investments. Then do not watch the number for 3 months. The anxiety of watching a small portfolio grow slowly is not providing useful information. It is providing temptation to stop or adjust the process that needs time and patience to work. The first $100,000 is not a watching game. It is a planting game. Strategy 4. Find your number and build toward it obsessively. Most people saving toward $100,000 do not actually know what month they're projected to reach it. They just know they are saving and hoping. Hope is not a strategy. Calculate your current savings rate, calculate your current investment returns, and project the exact month you will cross $100,000. Put that date on your wall. Make it real. Make it specific. Make it a target instead of a wish. The behavioral difference between people who have a specific date and people who have a vague goal is enormous. One group is building, the other is hoping. Here's what I want you to understand before you close this video. The first $100,000 is not hard because you are doing something wrong. It is hard because it is supposed to be hard. The math hasn't kicked in yet. The compounding engine is just warming up. The decade of discipline you are currently in or about to begin is not punishment, it is foundation. And the beautiful, almost unfair truth is this: every person who has ever built real, lasting wealth went through this exact phase. The phase where the number barely moves. The phase where sacrifices feel bigger than progress. The phase where everyone around you seems to be winning on metrics that don't actually matter. And then, one day, without a specific announcement or a dramatic moment, the number crosses $100,000, and the game quietly changes. The math that was working against you starts working for you. The returns that felt like background noise become a second income. The milestones that took years start taking months. You are not behind. You are in the hardest part, and the hardest part is almost over. Drop a like if this one gave you a new way to see where you are right now. And if you want to see exactly what to do the moment you cross $100,000, that video is right here. See you there.